This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Head on over to skl.sh/polyphonic20 to get 2 months free and start learning today. The most surprising hit song of 2017 might have been Childish Gambino's Redbone. It was a funk song created by a Hollywood actor under his rap pseudonym, and it was released by an indie rock label. Yet somehow Redbone climbed Billboard's charts, peaking at number 12 and even placing 25th on their year-end chart. Not only that, Redbone was featured heavily in the Oscar-winning Get Out, and it was such a phenomenon that it spawned its own meme. But this wasn't all for no reason. The song had a unique promotion cycle that helped push it into the spotlight, and once it was in that light, it looked on the contemporary world by pulling careful influence from the past. Let's take a closer look. Any talk of the influences of Redbone should start naturally with a brief history of funk. The origins of funk can be traced to the upbeat R&B of James Brown. Brown's music was built around syncopation, rests between notes, and unlikely timing that made the audience want to groove. After James Brown innovated the genre, acts like Stevie Wonder or Sly and the Family Stone pushed it into new territory in the 70s. They moved the audio spectrum down even further, filling the bottom end with thick bass riffs. On top, they used guitars that were heavy with muting and pedal effects, and paired them with horns and keyboards. Add a good helping of psychedelia to that, and you wind up with Parliament Funkadelic, the place that Redbone has its roots. In an interview with Billboard, Donald Glover said that he remembered listening to funk records as a kid and not knowing what he was feeling. I remember hearing a funkadelic scream and being like, wow, that's sexual and it's scary. Not having a name for that though, just having a feeling, that's what made it great. A song like Cosmic Slop shows off the kind of dark groove that struck Glover so much as a child. Reflecting on the social and cultural world around him, Glover felt parallels to the era that birthed this funk, the early 1970s. So he decided to stew in that sound and make a record in it. One of the biggest influences on this sound was Bootsy Collins. Collins was the bassist of Parliament Funkadelic. His smooth bass and big personality turned him into a star and helped him spin off a solo career and his own side projects. One of these projects was Bootsy's Rubber Band, and on their 1976 debut album, we can find the song that inspired Redbone, I'd Rather Be With You. This is particularly evident in the way both songs transition from the intro to the verse. I'd rather be with you, yeah. With the vocal lines, Donald Glover pushed himself to the upper end of his register. In fact, the vocals are so high on Redbone that many thought Gambino used vocal effects, but he told Triple J that that was just his natural singing voice.
Actually, there wasn't a ton of vocal stuff done. I think people hear Redbone and oh, he keeps stuff as vocals, and there were no vocal pitching on the album.
The result is a brand new sound for his music, but one that remains deeply connected to the past. Producer Ludwig Göransson heightened this connection by using the same vintage equipment that helped define the funk sound. One of the main keyboard licks is created on a Fender Rhodes, an instrument that was ubiquitous in the 70s and drove songs like Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely? The guitar was a vintage Telecaster run through a Maestro G2 rhythm and sound pedal. That pedal helped Göransson tap into the kind of wah effects that Hendrix used to turn Voodoo Child into an early funk rock masterpiece. But of course, if you're gonna pull from 70s funk, there's one all-important ingredient: the slap bass. Slapping was a bass technique invented by Larry Graham, the bassist of Sly and the Family Stone. Graham was influenced by upright bassists who would slap their string to create a jarring sound. Instead of slapping with his hand though, Graham would hit the string with his thumb, using the bouncing rebound to pluck a higher string. The slap bass quickly took over funk and became one of the defining aspects of the genre. Listening to Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again, you can hear the kind of slap pop bass line that worked its way into Redbone. together, all of these create a natural funk sound, capturing the vibe of the 70s perfectly. But it wasn't just the sound of the 70s that inspired Gambino. Donald Glover explained to Billboard that social movements like Black Lives Matter made him think of the early 70s when the Black Power movement was peaking. He said, "How do you start a global revolution really? Is that possible with the systems we've set up? There's something about that 70s black music that felt like they were trying to start a revolution." Of course, this revolutionary spirit is more obvious in This Is America, a song that Gambino would drop 18 months after Redbone, but that doesn't mean the politics are absent from Redbone. The music may be funky, but the lyrics are paranoid, casting a darker tone on the song. This is particularly true in the chorus. This paranoia speaks to Glover's perspective on being black in America. He told Billboard about his experience. "I want people to feel scared because that's what it feels like to be black. Amazing things can happen, but it can be taken away in a moment." The song reflects this lyrically with the chorus's main cry, "Stay woke." That line works in Redbone's paranoid story of adultery, but it also speaks on another level. Staying woke means staying aware of society and staying politically active, even if the world makes you want to close your eyes. The twin meanings of stay woke made it a perfect fit for Jordan Peele's masterpiece, Get Out. Redbone plays throughout the opening scene of that movie. It speaks to the movie's political awareness and the way it uses horror as a metaphor for Black American life. The success of Get Out was a big part of Redbone rising up the charts, but that's only part of a wider puzzle. Redbone and the entire Awaken My Love album injected an unexpected jolt of throwback into the hip-hop community. Due to Gambino's history as a rapper, he was able to slip this song onto hip-hop radio, and perhaps more importantly, onto Spotify's Rap Caviar playlist. Tuma Basa, who curates that playlist, told Variety about the decision to include it. "Sonically, it wasn't traditionally hip-hop, but it was so dope, how could we not include it? Redbone is for the culture, and Rap Caviar is for the culture." The response of the hip-hop community is perhaps best exemplified by Questlove, the legendary drummer for The Roots, who explained his reaction to Awaken My Love in a frantic Instagram post. "I thought I was getting some fresh millennial 2016 hip-hop shit, and I got sucker punched. I was not expecting a trip to Detroit circa 1972 at United Sound Studios." Despite its rising success, Glover never released a video for Redbone, nor even a piece of artwork for the single. As a result, the Awaken My Love album artwork became so intricately connected to Redbone that I've been using it as a symbol for the song throughout this entire video. Of course, the simple iconography of that artwork is part of what helped launch it into memedom. By the end of its unlikely rise, Redbone had netted itself a Grammy Award and 2 more nominations. Redbone had broken Childish Gambino's music into the mainstream, and set him on the track to becoming a musical icon. It foreshadowed his successes to come, while looking back on the music that helped shape him. But perhaps most of all, it shone a light on the reality that people were living in 50 years ago, and that we still face today. And it came with an all-important message: stay woke. Donald Glover is one of the most impressive artists working today. Not only is his music career thriving, he's also an award-winning actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. If you want to tap into that Gambino energy and learn to be a polymath, there's no better way than Skillshare. With more than 25,000 courses, Skillshare is the best place online to learn a new skill. Looking for a place to start? Why not try Mike Boyd's How to Learn, which will teach you strategies to approach learning new skills. Once you've got that down, you can take Matt Balassi's course Going Viral, which will teach you to make content that can thrive on the internet. And if you go to skl.sh/polyphonic20, you can try all of this out absolutely free for 2 months. That means 2 months of unlimited access to more than 25,000 classes in a whole assortment of topics. So you'll have a whole library to choose from on your quest to become a true Renaissance person like Donald Glover. Following that link also shows Skillshare that you support my channel, which is a big part of why I'm able to keep doing these videos week after week. So please just give it a shot and channel your inner Childish Gambino.